Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today, I want to talk about a book that genuinely changed the way I think about one of the most fundamental things we do, or at least should do, every single day: sleep. We're diving into Matthew Walker's incredible book, When We Sleep. Now you might be thinking, sleep? What's there to talk about? I do it every night, or try to. But trust me, this isn't just a book, it's a wake-up call, and it's written by a brilliant neuroscientist and psychologist who has spent his life obsessed with this mysterious third of our lives. Walker, who actually stumbled into sleep research almost by accident, makes a bold claim: sleep isn't just one pillar of good health alongside diet and exercise, it's actually the foundation upon which those other two stand. If you mess with that bedrock, everything else starts to crumble, and that, my friends, is exactly what we, as modern humans, have been doing. He paints a stark picture. A century ago, less than 2% of the population slept 6 hours or less a night. Today, almost 30% of American adults do. The World Health Organization even calls it a global health epidemic. Seriously, it's that big of a deal. So why do we need it so much? And what exactly is sleep anyway? Walker explains it beautifully. Think of your body as having two main forces that regulate your sleep and wake signals. First, there's your circadian rhythm, your internal 24-hour clock. This isn't just about when you feel awake or sleepy, it influences your hunger, your mood, even your body temperature. This internal clock runs slightly longer than 24 hours for most of us, maybe 24 hours and 15 minutes, which is why it needs a little help from the outside world to reset itself daily. The biggest time giver or sidegiver for this clock is daylight. It's essentially telling your brain, hey, it's daytime, be awake, and hey, it's dark, prepare for sleep. The second force is a chemical called adenosine. This is your body's built-in sleep pressure sensor. The longer you're awake, the more adenosine builds up in your brain, increasing your urge to sleep. And what's the most common culprit for messing with the system? It tested caffeine, coffee, tea, energy drinks. They all work by blocking those adenosine signals, tricking your brain into thinking it's not tired. But here's the kicker: while caffeine is blocking the signal, adenosine is still building up. So when the caffeine wears off, you get that dreaded caffeine crash. Your brain suddenly feels overwhelmed by all that pent-up sleep pressure. Now you might be wondering, okay, so my body knows when to sleep, but what actually happens when I'm sleeping? This is where it gets fascinating. Walker reveals that we don't just sleep, we cycle through two fundamentally different types of sleep: non-rapid eye movement sleep and rapid eye movement sleep. They're not just passive states, they're incredibly active, doing different vital jobs for your brain and body. REM sleep, especially the deep slow wave kind, is like your brain's nightly cleanup crew and memory save button. Imagine your brain having a temporary inbox for new information. Like your hippocampus, during the day, it's constantly acquiring new facts and skills, but this inbox has limited space. So what REM sleep does, especially in the first half of the night, is to transfer those fresh memories from the temporary inbox to the long-term storage areas in your brain's hard drive, the neocortex. This process, called consolidation, frees up your hippocampus for new learning the next day. It's why Quintilian, a Roman rhetorician, observed almost 2 millennia ago that the interval of a single night will greatly increase the strength of the memory. And experiments have shown that a lack of REM sleep means you'll wake up with a 40 deficit in your ability to make new memories. Think about that for students pulling all-nighters. Walker himself, a professor, stopped giving cumulative final exams, noting that mass versus space learning with sleep in between is far more effective. Then there's REM sleep, the state of dreaming, which Walker describes as routinely psychotic. Why? Because in this state, your brain sees things that aren't there, accepts illogical situations, feels intense emotions, and experiences a temporary paralysis of your voluntary muscles. This paralysis is actually a good thing. It stops you from acting out your dreams. REM sleep is predominantly in the latter half of the night. Its job is less about saving new facts and more about creativity, emotional processing, and problem solving. It's where your brain takes all the experiences of your day and integrates them with your past knowledge, forming new and often bizarre connections. This is where people get those aha moments, like Dmitri Mendeleev, who famously dreamed the periodic table of elements, or Paul McCartney, who dreamed the melody for Yesterday. REM sleep also acts as overnight therapy, stripping the emotional sting from difficult experiences so you can wake up feeling better about them. Without it, you might find yourself stuck in cycles of anxiety or depression. So, if sleep is so amazing, what happens when we don't get enough? Walker pulls no punches here. The consequences are terrifying. Routinely sleeping less than 6 or 7 hours a night demolishes your immune system, more than doubling your risk of cancer. It significantly increases your risk of cardiovascular disease, stroke, and congestive heart failure. It disrupts blood sugar levels so profoundly that even moderate reductions for just 1 week can classify you as pre-diabetic. It increases your likelihood of Alzheimer's disease, with sleep disruption often preceding the onset by several years. And it's not just physical. Mentally, insufficient sleep contributes to all major psychiatric conditions, including depression, anxiety, and suicidality. He points out that the brain regions commonly impacted by mood disorders are the same ones affected by sleep loss. Think about it, our emotional brain becomes hypersensitive, leading to irrational behavior, while the rational prefrontal cortex that normally keeps us in check gets ousted. Perhaps the most chilling takeaway is this: the shorter your sleep, the shorter your lifespan. He emphasizes that the old maxim, "I'll sleep when I'm dead," is profoundly unfortunate. And don't even get him started on drowsy driving. Walker states unequivocally that drowsy driving causes more accidents than alcohol and drugs combined. Because unlike drunk drivers, fatigued drivers often don't even realize how impaired they are, leading to microsleeps where they literally fall asleep for a few seconds at the wheel. So what's stopping us from getting this miracle cure? You might ask. Walker points to several culprits in our modern world: electric light, especially blue LED light from our devices. This is huge. Even dim electric light fools your brain into thinking it's still daytime, suppressing melatonin release and delaying sleep onset by hours. Reading on an iPad for 2 hours before bed can suppress melatonin by over 50 and delay its rise by up to 3 hours. Caffeine, we already covered this, but its 8-hour half-life means that late afternoon coffee is absolutely impacting your sleep quality. Alcohol, many people think it helps them sleep. Wrong. Alcohol is a sedative, not a sleep aid. It fragments your sleep, suppresses REM sleep, and makes you wake up as its effects wear off. Temperature: your body needs to drop its core temperature by a few degrees to fall asleep. A too warm bedroom works against this natural process. Aim for a cool 65 degrees Fahrenheit, 3 degrees Celsius. Early work and school start times, our biological rhythms, especially those of teenagers, are being severely punished. Teenagers have a natural shift in their circadian rhythm, wanting to go to bed later and wake up later. Forcing them to wake up at 5:30 a.m. for school is like asking an adult to function after being woken up at 3:15 a.m. every day. This affects grades, behavior, and mental health. What can we actually do about it? You're probably thinking, Walker isn't just about the problems, he's passionate about the solutions. For insomnia, he champions cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia (BTI). It's more effective than sleeping pills and has long-term benefits. It teaches you strategies like sticking to a regular sleep schedule, getting out of bed if you can't sleep, and controlling anxiety. For everyone else, he emphasizes sleep hygiene. The single most important tip: go to bed and wake up at the same time every single day, even on weekends. This helps regulate your circadian rhythm. Other tips include a cool, dark, gadget-free bedroom, avoiding caffeine and alcohol late in the day, and exercising earlier. He also presents a compelling vision for societal change: later school start times, flexible work schedules, and even smart home technology that adjusts lighting and temperature to optimize your sleep passively. Imagine lights that gradually dim and shift color as evening approaches, or a thermostat that learns your optimal sleep temperature. NASA is already experimenting with smart lighting for astronauts to regulate their circadian rhythms in space. This book isn't just a collection of facts, it's a plea for us to reclaim our sleep. Walker argues that the decision to sleep or not to sleep is perhaps the most significant health choice we can make. It's free, it's potent, and it's transformative. After reading Why We Sleep, I guarantee you'll never look at sleep the same way again. You'll understand why it's not a luxury, but a necessity, and why neglecting it isn't just making you tired, it's actively harming your health, your mind, and even your creativity. So, if there's one thing you take from this, it's this: prioritize your sleep. Your brain and body will thank you, and you might just live a longer, happier, and more fulfilling life.